Hey there, hey there, hey there. My name's Charlie Brown. My name's Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown.
And today, I'm joined here at the Cambridge Junction by... Hey there. My name's Charlie Brown, and recently I've been absolutely fascinated by the weird and wonderful music of Cambridge is my favourite city, and not just because of the pubs, the shops, PMT, pubs, shops again, and pubs, but because of the amazing diversity that can be found within this place. I mean, events like Cambridge Pride help to showcase the incredible amount of culture that is found within a city such as Cambridge. It's an amazing event filled with such diversity within the LGBTQIA community. And to be able to showcase that off within the Cambridge local community, I think is just an incredible thing. And the same holds true for music as well. As I've already mentioned, Cambridge is an incredibly diverse and massive place.
There's a countless number of bands that have formed within Cambridge over the years that has created a rich diversity of different genres. There's electronic, rap, ska, rock, grunge, folk, indie and pop. It's incredible the amount of creativity that can be found within something as simple as a music genre.
I mean, take the folk scene, for example, which is historically known for being this small and underground medium.
Yet has grown to be so prominent as to feature a whole festival in Cambridge dedicated to sharing its creativity.
Not only that, but the people that make up these genres are also incredibly interconnected with one another. Take Isla Mae and LiamG, for example.
Isla Mae is a singer-songwriter, whereas LiamG is a rap and hip-hop artist. And yet, despite the difference in genres, they've managed to collaborate on a song together that combines the lyricism of rap with the acoustic nature of folk music.
This collaboration, that collaboration between people, between music, between artists is incredible. And I think it's one of the reasons why Cambridge as a city within the music scene stands out. It inspires creativity through collaboration with people. I mean, the amount of bands that are within Cambridge is incredible. There are countless school bands, professional bands, old bands, new bands, bands with weird music, bands with normal music, bands with incredible histories that go back to the 80s. And it's just baffling to me how rich and diverse the music culture can be. It's really opened my eyes with having looked into this.
You've got ska bands like Hardrive and the Big Ten, you've got folk musicians like Isla Mae and Red Velvet, and you've got subgenres of rock such as alt rock and indie with Wake Atlas, Christian Smith and the Heretics, CB5, Romsey, Quack Attack, along with the rap musicians such as LiamG, Eduardo, Essoressay, Maestro, and countless more that demonstrate the diversity of music found within Cambridge. And they're all interconnected with one another through social media platforms such as Instagram, which gives them the chance to follow and stay in contact with one another after networking at a local gig.
Even if it's on such an incredibly small level like that, what that does is it still inspires that connectivity between them. It gives them a link, a connection, a network of people who all have a vague understanding and vaguely know each other. And that, I think, is just fostering collaboration. There is just such an opportunity for people to reach out and collaborate with one another. So basically, despite the differences in genre and taste and musical expression, all of these bands have the opportunity to connect with one another and to collaborate and to create something truly, truly special. That collaboration helps expression. And speaking of expression, Music is naturally a form of expression, whether it's destroying your pots and pans in the kitchen or writing the most influential album ever. It is inherently creative in nature. This allows it to be expressed in many different ways, not only through the music itself, but through the avenues of which to perform that music, because it flourishes best when given an outlet to freely express itself. And it can be anything from festivals and venues to song releases, album releases, social media. There is no limit to the form of expression that you can use for your music.
Venues and live performances are an incredibly important level of expression for musicians, as many of the bands that I've interviewed throughout this project have cited live performance as the form of expression they prioritise the most in their musical career.
I mean, live performance is amazing, obviously gets the adrenaline running. Nothing beats it, performing your own song you've made live and you've worked hard day in and day out to make, and performing it live in front of people.
And it's fun.
And it is fun,
It's the answer to everyone. Why do you do it? Because it's fun.
Yeah.
For everyone, no matter how old you are or what you like, it's fun.
Yeah. Playing live is just something else, because I was super nervous before playing first time, but once you get out there and you realise you've got a certain amount of time where everybody's gonna be listening to you, everyone's gonna watch from you and be influenced by what you do, you can think, how do I want to influence them? Do I want to make them feel happy, feel sad? And I just want to make everyone feel together and connected when they leave the room. So it's such a blessing to be able to have people listen to you and value what you have to say. So I think that's really important to remember as an artist, no matter how big or small you are, have gratitude. But yeah, just remember why you're doing it.
Having 200 people like your post on Instagram, for instance, is quite different to having 200 fans there engaging with you, performing on the night, potentially buying merchandise, that kind of thing. So I think it's really important to be playing and interacting and networking with people.
Venues are one of the main ways to facilitate that expression. It doesn't matter how big or small a musician or place is, there can always be a chance for expression. Busking is a huge example of this, with bands honing their skills and expressing their music regularly throughout the streets of Cambridge.
Busking is the #1 way to develop your confidence and your stage presence. I'm telling you, I started busking 3 months after starting to play sax. So I only started when I was about in year 9, around 13 years old. And after 3 months, I started going busking because it's a long story, but basically me and my friends, we wanted to go to the gym, right? And we wanted to save some money up, so we started going busking. And basically, I'd been playing sax for only 3 months. I was shook. When I was playing, obviously you're outside, you're not on a stage, but you're outside, you're playing, and first 5 minutes you're really nervous, you want to try and make a good impression to try make some money, but after 5 minutes you don't care, you realize everyone's just about their day and you're just playing and you're doing what you love, and that's all that matters. And then slowly you start building more confidence, you start getting a bigger crowd, and busking 100% for me has been the biggest way the biggest factor that has helped me with my stage presence, my confidence, and even improvisational skills, because sometimes you got to busk for a very, very long time. You just got to just go with the flow. Yeah, so no permit needed, unlike places like London where you need to pay for a permit and wait a long time. Cambridge, no permit needed. And you can just set up. There are some rules you have to follow, but you can basically set up wherever you want, start playing. And that's actually how my first band formed. We just set up, and there was this guitar player who was waiting to play after us. We were like, come in, jam with us. We started jamming together. The improvisational skills you pick up, you join and you merge, and that's how I first formed my first band. So
the Cambridge Buskers and Street Performers Festival further gives these artists a platform to express and show off their rich cultures.
To categorise these venues, I've created a spectrum on small to large. Smaller venues being physically smaller and holding smaller musicians, maybe they're on a smaller budget as well, with larger venues typically hosting larger musicians and larger audiences, and also have a larger budget as well. On the smaller end of the spectrum, you have pub venues, places like the Portland Arms and the 6-6. And on the larger end, you have places such as the Corn Exchange. But in this kind of middle ground here, there's another venue which is incredibly important to not only the music community in general, but the upcoming and young artists as well. And that is the Cambridge Junction.
The Cambridge Junction can be described as the midpoint between these smaller and larger venues. It provides a larger physical space for performance compared to other venues in the city, while still taking on small and local artists through monthly events such as the Fiver. It gives those smaller musicians the chance to perform to a larger audience, not only promoting their music to more people, but also giving them the valuable experience of getting to perform in such a venue.
With the amount of musicians that I've spoken to, many of them have cited the Cambridge Junction as an important and an integral place and venue within the city, not only for the local music community, but for them personally as well. It's been an incredibly important place.
Probably the best venue we've played at.
Yes,
It's our
definitely.
favourite.
It's
Not
our
necessarily the
favourite.
best, but favourite.
They look after you really well.
I think there's a lot of opportunity now. Obviously, the Five is a great opportunity for the younger sort of generation to get out there with their new bands and their music.
It's a great opportunity, and it's a great thing that they've set up here to allow bands, especially at school age, an opportunity to play. I think it's fantastic.
You can never neglect an opportunity to play at the Junction, just because it is a really important venue, I think, for the city.
Well, the Fiver Night's always a privilege, actually, because it's a nice opportunity to meet other bands in Cambridgeshire area, other areas as well. Yeah, it's a nice opportunity not just to perform, but to network, which is, what it's all about, really.
And with the Cambridge Junction giving these small musicians the opportunity to perform in a larger venue, it allows them to hone their craft and hone their ability with not only a larger audience, but with a larger crew, with a larger green room, with a larger backstage presence, just anything. It allows them to get that experience of what it's like to be a proper musician, or at least a full-time musician. But another venue that is kind of on the midway point on the scale as well, but I would say less so than the Cambridge Junction, is a little place called the Portland Arms. Now, the Portland Arms is an interesting example because when talking about collaboration, they are also an integral part of fostering that within Cambridge.
The reason being that they constantly collaborate with local music students at the Cambridge Regional College, allowing them to come host events and play gigs, supported by the local companies also involved in the music scene, such as Cambridge Radio and the Rogue record label. This is just one of the collaborations that demonstrates how Cambridge's music is being fostered by education and the younger generation. Bands of all shapes and sizes, including classical and modern, frequently come from Hills Road, Long Road and Cambridge Regional College to perform at local venues.
And one thing I forgot to mention is that there's not only collaboration between Cambridge Regional College and the Portland Arms, but places like Hills Road and the Cambridge Junction. And what I mean by that is two students, Noah and Arthur, put on a gig at the Cambridge Junction recently called the Echo Gig.
What started out as this small college project meant to be played at a local pub venue soon turned into a much larger event with almost 200 people attending and engaging with the bands. And keep in mind, this was organised by 2 students.
So, with the Cambridge Junction allowing them to come in, students to come in and allow them to create and host that event, gives them not only that valuable experience of what it's like to put on a gig, but what it's like for the musicians performing to go out and perform to that larger audience as well. Again, it's that collaboration that is fostering the creativity found within the Cambridge music scene. But not only is this a way for musicians to go out and express themselves, it's also an incredible promotional opportunity for them as well.
Being able to put out your music to that many people regularly at places like the Cambridge Junction is such a valuable opportunity for smaller musicians. Venues and gigs inherently promote these artists through their performances, added by the fact that some musicians link to their social media at the end of their gigs as well. Which leads into my next point, social media.
Now, I know that social media might be a little bit of a point of contention for a lot of people, so I would like to more specifically focus on how it has impacted the grassroots community. Social media has become synonymous with expression and promotion. It's become the main way that we are connected with each other all around the world. And the same is true for music as well. particularly with small artists within the grassroots community, as they regularly post about their local gigs on social media, they post updates behind the scenes on their stories, reels, anything that gives them more promotion.
It's proved to be quite a good way for people to promote themselves, growing to be one of the main ways that individuals, groups, and large brands use to advertise a product, service, or cause. Because of how prevalent and engraved social media has become within our society, it's essential to at least have an understanding of how it works.
And with that understanding comes the positives and negatives of using social media to promote your music. It's an incredibly accessible medium that allows people to go out and find more niche communities. That accessibility is particularly useful for small grassroots musicians, because what it does is it allows them to use that accessibility to find their targeted audience. Whether it be rock, metal, ska, folk, anything, social media has a place for everyone. And I mean quite literally everyone. Combine that with the fact that music is a wildly popular medium on its own, and you have an ultimate breeding ground for freedom of expression, promotion, and niche communities.
Furthermore, social media allows for connection between communities and people. People get suggestions on apps like Instagram for other accounts that they can follow based on who they and their friends are already following. This allows for a web of interconnectivity between the music community to form as people follow each other based on their previous networking.
Now, whilst gigs and events are still an incredibly important way for people to go out and connect with each other, social media has expanded that tenfold. Finding people all across the world before the creation of social media is just something that wouldn't have been as possible back then. And if we want to talk about the collaboration between people once again within music, take CB1 Entertainment, a social media network that is based on promoting small artists within Cambridge and giving them a chance to go out and promote their music.
I've been heavily involved. I haven't really announced myself as being part of the platform, but I've just been there behind the scenes.
Tell me, what has been your kind of involvement with that then? How have you kind of helped him build up this platform to promote local Cambridge musicians?
Mostly by making connections. Like, of course, I have a good friend, his name is Tommy Takes Flicks, and he's basically the person who helps me with all the cameraman stuff, and he's been also working within Cambridge as well. So I've been there like making connections, also been doing my own graphic designs for the thing. So yeah, like honestly, just like helping out where I can, making it better for the local community.
Whether it's a local gig or an album/song release, CB1 Entertainment post about it on their social media through reels, stories, and posts. Because of the accessibility that social media can provide, it gives networks like CB1 Entertainment a platform for people to go out and promote their music. Now, if we look on the other side of social media, the negative side of things, that can also be quite prevalent.
Social media followers doesn't always translate into a live performance audience. Whilst it gives people the chance to go and see and find these artists, that doesn't mean that they would go to one of their gigs. People that would support a band or artist on social media aren't necessarily the people that are dedicated enough to go out and see them. Worldwide, listeners and followers make it even harder for them to go out and see their favourite musicians if they aren't local.
I mean, people now so heavily rely on social media, but it's fine, as Ash said, it's fine having 200 likes on social media. If you're not having 200 people come to the show, what's the point in having that likes, do you know what I mean?
You know, when you've got your target audience at the gig, as Ash said, you know that's your target audience. You know that they're going to buy your vinyl, they're going to buy your t-shirts, they're going to follow you, they're going to come to your next gig. But social media can be, unfortunately, sometimes a gamble. Some posts are really effective and some aren't.
And when thinking about the importance of live performance to these small musicians, it becomes a little bit limiting. Social media can often put pressure on these small musicians to become more like an influencer as opposed to an actual performing musician. And this is because of the amount of content that they need to produce every single day, pretty much, to be able to satisfy the needs of an attention span hungry audience. That, combined with the limited amount of followers that translate into an actual live performance audience, can make social media quite a restricting medium for some small musicians as well.
But another way for musicians to go out and promote themselves are through musical events, again on a scale of small to large. For smaller events, it can be through festivals like Henstock. a yearly charity music event that raises money for meningitis. Or Hardrive Live, a gig created by the band Hardrive that's aimed to give small musicians a platform to perform their music.
We've been trying to, as a group, make something similar in the way we do our Hardrive Live gigs. So we do them at different venues, but it's roughly the same in terms of we invite some young bands that we've seen and help them kind of get their first, second gig. We had By the By Band, LiamG, we've had the Politiks, Marada,
Adam and the Johnsons,
yeah, who sadly have disbanded now. But yeah, we think the whole thing just about young people in music is a really good idea.
Or it can be through larger events, such as the Cambridge Folk Festival, Strawberry Fair, and the various events put on by Tim and Rebecca's new music generator at Cambridge Radio, such as NMG Presents and NMG Awards.
For example, you guys have the NMG Awards.
That's an opportunity for us to get all the artists that we support together under one roof, to encourage them to carry on doing what they're doing, to congratulate them and reward them for what they're doing. And yeah, we do that every year, and I host it, and Rebecca has been a judge for the last few years.
We get to know a lot of artists through doing the show, and I think on the night it's just great to see everyone in one room. You really see the community is there, which is a great part of that event.
You also have something called NMG Presents Night as well.
They are just a platform for artists to perform at a grassroots music venue. So yeah, we're supporting the venue, but also giving artists a platform to perform. We're just there to showcase these artists and for them to find new fans, really.
The Cambridge Band Competition is another one of these kind of events, where bands can go out and compete with each other, with the best band winning at the end of a series of gigs.
That event is hosted by Strawberry Fair, which in itself is an incredibly important cultural event for the city of Cambridge. People all around the country go to Strawberry Fair regularly every year because it's a free music festival. There's no barrier to entry, not even for the bands to perform there.
It's an incredible way for people to go out and enjoy themselves while supporting new music and giving musicians the opportunity to express themselves.
In my opinion, nothing compares to the amount of inclusivity, diversity, and creativity that is fostered by events such as Strawberry Fair. And that's why it pains me to say that Strawberry Fair is not happening this year. 2025 is the first year in Strawberry Fair's history that they won't be putting on the event. Due to finance reasons, the cost of Strawberry Fair going up and up every year is making it a net loss for the company. And that is heart-wrenching. That's absolutely heart-wrenching, because it's not just the Strawberry Fair, but it's things like the Cambridge Folk Festival as well, which are dying out. What happens if they can't go on the next year or the year after that? The amount of creativity that is lost from not being able to put on those events is gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. And that's why we need to support not only local musicians, but local music events as well. It is incredibly difficult to be a small musician in today's world. Whether you're a venue owner or a local musician, just the cost alone to be able to do anything is insurmountable.
The cost of living crisis has caused pretty much everything to go up in price, which means that venue owners and small musicians have to work even harder just to keep the lights running, or to make an income,
or to just foster their creativity. Now, with all the doom and gloom that's surrounding the grassroots community and costs at the moment, there is something that we, the people, can do to go out and support local musicians, and that is engagement. Go out and do anything, whether that be through following a band on social media, liking their posts, engaging with their stories, or whether that be going to live events, buying merch of the band. You might not even like them, you might just like their design. Go for it. Just go out, give your money, give your support.
I think if you asked 100,000 musicians today, how's the best way to support you? They'd probably say, come to our shows, buy the merch, just keep up to date with what we do.
I would say go to your local venues like the Junction tonight, because there are artists, even though they might not be massive, they would probably put 10 times more effort into their music than big mainstream artists nowadays, and you'll be blown away by the talent that is literally next to your doorstep. So that's
wherever you are. It don't matter if you're in Cambridge, if you're in London, wherever you are, go to your local venues, see your artists. Yeah.
That's why things like tonight and the Fiver and similar things that they put on in other venues are really important to keep going, because people need a place to go, people need a place to play, and I think particularly sort of post-lockdown, building that kind of backup, I guess, is still really important.
So I think it's just about awareness. Social media has helped quite a lot, just kind of show us, but we spend quite a lot of our time making music rather than doing things like TikToks and kind of posts. So I think genuinely it would just be, if you see that there's a gig on and it seems like you might like it, just go and watch them, even if it's free tickets or whatever. Just seeing that, kind of having that atmosphere just makes you want to push on a bit more.
You know, as a small musician, grassroots venues are really, really important, and seeing them go is really sad, because then for me, selfishly as a musician, like, where would I make my money? But also for the community, bringing people together, allowing me to meet like-minded people. It's really important we have grassroots music, because that's how people climb into the industry. I'd say go to gigs. If you're thinking, oh, I'd like to see this artist live, go for it. Also, if like the grassroots venue is also a pub, a restaurant, a bar, just go there as well. I presume that helps feed the music indirectly, and I'd say support small artists on social media, share their gigs to get more people to come along.
I think it's really good to have gigs in local pubs and things like that, just to get people started and get them going. It was really, for me, starting off just playing in a pub and things like that it was just really good for me.
If you have 100 people at your show and each of them buy, I don't know, a £5 beanie or something, that's £500 that you've made, which then it goes towards the band and they can keep furthering with the merch and all that.
As well as engaging with the community, there are numerous fundraiser events happening throughout the year to raise awareness and support for Strawberry Fair, to bring it back even stronger than before for 2026. There are some events coming up that I will link down in the description for you to go and check out.
Just go out and listen to what these people have to say. Because ultimately, if we can listen to each other, we can support each other, and we can engage with each other, and we can help foster an even better community than what we have right now. This has been Charlie Brown, signing off on the Cambridge music scene.
We both know you're bluffing. This thing can't have a discussion. Now she raised her voice, I raise it back, so now she fronting.
Hey everyone, it's me, Charlie Brown, and oh my god, has this been an absolute roller coaster of a project. First of all, I just want to give a massive thank you to everyone that's helped me throughout this project. Whether you're a band or musician I interviewed, whether you're a photographer or videographer I used photos or videos from, I really, really do appreciate it, so thank you. Just a little bit of context as well, I started this project back in March as part of my final major project for college, so it's changed quite a bit over the course of these past couple months. And since finishing college, I've managed to add some bits and bobs onto it just to make it that little bit more interesting. However, I have been quite busy with things outside of this project, so I am sorry if I haven't managed to add as much as I would have been able to. But despite that, I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to do this project and give light to the amazing music scene that's found within the city of Cambridge. I mean, there's so much more that I wasn't able to include in my videos, so many more bands and musicians and genres and cultures that I really, really implore you to go check out for yourselves, because it's so interesting, especially if you really like music. And that's about it from me. You can check out all the musicians and the people found within this video in the description below, as well as the fundraisers I mentioned about Strawberry Fair earlier on. And again, thank you all so much for watching, and who knows, maybe I'll make more of these. There's a ton of music out there and a ton of cities, so you never know what will happen. Anyways, this is Charlie Brown, signing off. Take care, guys.
I still don't know where I belong. We ain't ever gonna fall apart. And even through the struggle that we face, still holding on. We both know you're bluffing. have a discussion.